Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome into the channel. My name is Brent. Today we're going to be covering my portfolio update over on Robinhood. I want to go ahead and record this video here on Monday before anything Tuesday takes place. Right now, we don't know if there will be more red towards the end of the week, especially with what happened over the weekend and into Monday. So we'll go ahead and start off with our market update, go over some of the posts that were posted over the weekend and some of the news that came out today on Monday. We'll then jump into our income update. We did receive some dividends for the first time over on Robinhood. I really like the Robinhood way that it gives you all of that information. So we'll go ahead and cover that as well. Then we'll go into our buys. So Monday, happy Monday, happy, hope everyone had a happy Easter and roll it into Easter Monday here. But we did have some buys today, all while we were out and about on the go. And then our portfolio is updated and our updated income as well. So we'll go ahead and head up on these 4 different areas today, as well as some plans that we do have some plans going into April still. So with that said, if you guys are brand new here to the channel, we really appreciate if you go down below, hit that subscribe, smash that thumbs up if you guys enjoyed the content, and let's go ahead and get into our market update. So as I said, over the weekend, there was some news that came out, right? So President Trump came out saying, hey, remember those 10 days I give you to make a deal or open up the strait? Well, time is running out. Then on Sunday, he made another post that, hey, Tuesday is your final day. There's no more extensions. This is it. It's going to be power plant day, bridge day, all wrapped up in one. Then he added some few additional words in there. Now, market, I thought the market would react negatively to this, but pre-market, I saw that the fear index moved from around a 15 to a 19 during the day. It was at a 22. Right now, during the right now as I'm recording this video, fear and greed index is at a 23. So we're moving up out of that extreme fear. We might actually hit the fear level by the end of the week, but that goes up to how Tuesday will go. Throughout the week, throughout Monday, a lot of posts coming out saying, hey, whether Trump can negotiate some kind of a deal by Monday. Then it got pushed out to Tuesday. Then, the mediators were notified saying, hey, can we have some sort of a 45-day ceasefire? And the U.S. wanted the strait to be open during that time frame that there's a ceasefire. Iran said, hey, no, we're not going to be open up the strait in exchange for any sort of ceasefire. So that I don't know if there's going to be any sort of deal that goes on. I don't see why anything would take place unless it's positive for Iran. They already had a plan happening at the time before they were struck the first time. So unless they get some really good deal that's fortified in multiple ways, I don't see anything taking place that's positive on Tuesday, but we'll see how it all goes. So throughout the week, or throughout the day today, everything was essentially positive in the morning and just kind of trended. We did see a little pop right here on Monday, right? So here's Thursday last week, opened up higher on the day and just kind of wiggled sideways, not really going anywhere. But I did like that at the very end of the day, we basically closed that daily highs, which is pretty positive. We're just kind of looking forward to what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow after hours is where it's going to be getting big. So I did have some notifications for me at 6:57. If we stay above here and close here by Friday, we could break the downtrend. So if we close above 6:57.22 by Friday, I would say that we break this downtrend. But if something takes place tomorrow and we, don't get a deal and it escalates from here, things escalate beyond over that way, boots on the ground kind of roll out by the end of the week or into next week, then the market could do some retesting of some of these lows or, go even beyond there. We don't know. It's all up in the air. Okay, so let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think will take place? Do you think we'll have any sort of a deal coming through this week? Do you think Iran will make a deal or, choose to reopen the strait? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, jumping into number 2, our income. So jumping into number 2, I really like Robinhood's income notification. So over on Fidelity, it was very generic. It gave you how much you received on the right-hand side. It showed you the company that paid you out the dividend. But what I really like here is that it gives you the number of shares. So Fidelity didn't give me the number of shares that my dividend was based off of. I had to go and look up my total amount that I received. It would give you the total amount. Then I had to go to the website I'd have to go over to the T-Spy website, go down to their distributions, and I'd have to look for the specific date that I was paid out the dividend, and I'd have to look at the amount that I was paid out and then divide how much I was paid out by the amount to see how many shares was my payout based off of, because sometimes I bought on, before the activity day, or a few days prior, and I'm always buying more, so my number of shares increases on a daily, weekly basis pretty quickly. So either way, I really like this little notification. It gives you the activity date, gives you the payout date, gives you the number of shares that your payout was based off of. So in this case, I have 4,100.57 shares of T-Spy. Based on the amount per share of 0.2807, it gives you the total amount. I really like this. It's a really nice, clean look over on Robinhood, so I'm enjoying it. Also, I've been using my Robinhood Gold card now for about 2 weeks, and you can go into the Robinhood banking app, the Robinhood Gold banking app, and go into your section at the bottom, and based on how much you've spent, you can redeem your points at any time. So that is really cool. So I went ahead, just kind of tested out. I had 2,129 points sitting in there based on all the fixed expenses and current expenses that we've used right now within the last few weeks. And I went ahead and converted it to points just to kind of see how easy it would be. And boom, just within a few seconds, I just went ahead and just kind of moved the bar, seeing how many points I could cash out. And it all transferred over to my individual account very, very quickly. So I like this whole process versus over at Fidelity. Again, on my credit card, I had to pay it down. Then I had to wait a few days to actually get the cash in my account. Versus over on Robinhood, every Monday I could just go in there based on the number of points that I have, get it deposited into my individual account, and get it invested right away, especially during a red day. That could be a really good opportunity. So I do like the income and how it is shown over on Robinhood. I'm looking forward to more of that. Now, going into my buys and sells. So buys and sells this morning, I only had one buy. I've said previously that I'm really trying to bulk up my position in TDAC. I have 4,100 shares of T-Spy, but I'm nowhere near that position on my TDAC. So I'm really trying to build up my position in TDAC. So over the next few either days or weeks, months, I'm going to be adding specifically to TDAC to get it up to that same position of my T-Spy. And then I'll begin looking at other positions. But if you guys have suggestions on other, covered call ETFs that could be ideal to add to the portfolio, I'm always open to suggestions. So drop them down in the comment section below. But this morning, while my wife and I were on the go, it was 10:12 a.m. when this went through. And we were at the gym at the time. We went out to the gym around like 8:30, 8:45. I set a limit buy earlier in the morning, and we walked out the door. And during the middle of the workout, get a notification saying, hey, your buy for TDAC filled. And I was like, awesome possum, and continued on. But we do see here, again, more data is shown here than over at Fidelity. I like this. I like that it shows you, over at Fidelity, it gave me the amount that it filled, and it gave me my share count. This gives me my shares. The filled, it also gives me the specific time. So now I can go in here based off that time at 10:12 a.m. I can go over to Tap Alpha, click on TDAC, and take a look at the daily here. Daily here. So at 10:12. So here earlier this morning we did a pop. Here's your low of the day at 23. It actually came down. I believe the low down here was like 23.80, and then it kind of moved higher. So earlier in the morning, I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and not capture the absolute bottom just in case it pulls back right through here. You can see a pullback here at 23.90. But if it pulls back to say 23.82, which at 10:12, so not even through here, you can see here at 10:20, 23.83. And then it went up, and then right through here, there was a little bit of a pullback. So at 10:12, right there, 10:12 in the morning, it hit 23.82, then hit a low of 23.81, and that's when my buy order went through. So from the highs here recently to where I purchased it, it came down roughly 0.5%. So 21 shares off at a half a percent discount is a pretty good dealio. So throughout the day, continue to move higher from here, back up to those highs, and actually close higher on the day. So we had a really good buy entry on our TDAC position, and that kind of leads into our next areas, which is our dividend portfolio and income update. So let's head over to our dividend portfolio, and we can see here this week so far, we have picked up 21 shares of TDAC. So we can see here our old shares, we had 3,909 shares. We increased our threshold by 21, bringing up our total shares to 3,930. So I am still about 170 shares below my T-SPY positions. We're going to be adding to our TDAC position for a bit to kind of bulk it up to that point. But we can see based off today, we went from 1368 to 1375. That was an increase just based off that $500 or 21 shares. We increased our monthly income by $7.35. Times that by 12, and that's going to give you a yearly difference of $88.20. So yeah, that's a pretty good increase so far on Monday, increasing our yearly income by $88.20. You can see that we're back over that $50,000 threshold for dividend income. $50,000 from this portfolio is perfect. I have other sources of income from affiliates, referrals, my other YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is almost monetized, which I'm looking forward to. 50 bucks, 100 bucks, it'll all be reinvested into the market. And then I also have my real estate business on the side that, that fluctuates as well. Last month I had a roof leak, so I had some roof repairs. That's going to affect my April payout because they're still doing the process of getting that roof repaired. So it'll show up in my April statement, but that fluctuates as well. Some months are good, some months are okay. But overall, the last few months have been really good on that side of business. Everything's been doing really, really well. So that is our income update here in total dividend portfolio. Now over at Robinhood, so based on what we saw today, we did move back up to our recent highs. This, it fluctuates so weird. Pre-market, I don't trust these numbers pre-market because as soon as the market opens, it goes down to the low. So Robinhood's a little bit off for that. But throughout the day, we can see the portfolio overall did pretty positive throughout the day. We do have not that amount of buying power. That's like buying power with margin. Our cash that we have sitting in the account is a little over 8,000 bucks. So we'll just say $8,000 is sitting in cash in the account, still waiting to invest. Now I'm not going to invest it all at once. I already paid down the mortgage for April, so that's paid down and out of the way. I updated my insurance on my mortgage as well. So going into this month in April, when I just canceled my old one on the 27th. My new policy replaced it here at the very end of March. So that's going in, taking effect going forward as well. So my mortgage should come down a bit going into May. My other properties, they're also getting looked at right now. Allstate is coming out with something that can cover some of the older properties. They weren't able to cover them with rebuild costs. It would only be, there's two types of insurances. One is they pay to replace it, replace it as a whole, or they just give you a cash out. And I didn't want the cash out. I wanted the replacement value of the home. Those are usually better. And they're basically the exact same price. So I'm kind of holding out, but that plan that they're going to be rolling out, they already messaged me. They sent me a text message saying that their new plan should come out here on the 11th or, estimated time frame instead of around September, which she had told me earlier. So she's going to reach back out to me sometime within the next week or two and hopefully update my insurances, dropping those mortgages as well on my rentals. And that's some plans that I have for April. I'm also working on rolling over my Roth 401k over to my Roth IRA, and any sort of contributions that my company did and match, those will roll into my IRA. Now, with that hopefully happening within the next 2 weeks, I'm hoping that, once these fully transfer over to Fidelity, I'll initiate a 2% bonus transfer on IRA. So I would like to move my IRA and my Roth IRA over from Fidelity over into Robinhood. So those will all hopefully happen by the end of April. So regardless of whether I'm able to roll over my 401k over at Empower into my Fidelity, I will roll over my Fidelity accounts over into Robinhood by the end of April, regardless whether I'm able to get the full stuff from Empower get rolled over. That's a bit of a paper process going on through there, but we shall see. And going back to the cash here, not all of this cash is money to be invested. Some of this capital we've set aside that I do want to buy new tires for my wife's car. She has some winter tires on her car right now. She's worn out her old season tires, so we have to replace those. That's going to be, we're going to go out to Costco and take a look at some tires as well, but they have some deals, so that should probably be a little under $1,000. I need to replace my brakes on my car. I've had my car since 2013, and it needs some front brakes being replaced because it is now screeching and it is bugging, so I got to work on that. So we're just kind of budgeting a few items, but we have cash set to the side that we are able to work with and budget and use. So while we have cash in the account ready to invest, I'm not investing this all in one chunk. If the market pulls back, I will definitely be investing the capital for the purposes of buying it at a pullback. But if the market just kind of moves higher from here on, gets more expensive, I'll just stick with my normal dollar cost averaging, stick with my current plan of what we need to do, things that we need to spend money on, versus as much as I'd like to say, yeah, throw $8,000 into the market right now, if the market does pull back after Tuesday, we could have some better opportunities going forward. So just things to kind of take into consideration. So I think that is going to be it for today's video, guys. If you guys have any comments or questions, definitely drop them in the comment section down below. Do me a favor, if you guys like the content, also smash that thumbs up. If you guys love the content and want to stick around for more videos in the future, definitely subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And that is going to be it from me. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.